So any type of cardio or running will absolutely destroy your gains and have a negative impact on building muscle in the gym. So is this fact or crap? In this video, I'm going to debunk this myth. So this idea originally came from the 1980s, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So it was thought that any kind of cardio would just destroy your gains. But since then, plenty of studies have been done that have shown that we can optimize our recovery, our training, and perform at our peak if we add any type of cardio such as cycling, running, or swimming into our training routine. So if we look at just building muscle, it's so easy that even a caveman can do it. And yes, I did steal that from Geico. Most people don't realize this, but if you add some kind of cardio into your training, like running or cycling, you're actually going to maximize your muscle gain. So when it comes to running, there are two forms. You have your short distance and your long distance. So many of you are thinking right now, well, no duh, if you run short distance, you're gonna have a better chance of gaining muscle than if you're running 10, 20 miles. Anybody with one of these could have told you that. And this is absolutely true, but you can still gain muscle when running 10, 20 miles. And I'm going to explain why later in this video, or exactly how you can do it and how I did it as well. As I said earlier in the video, adding short distance running into your workout regimen can actually be very beneficial and help you gain more muscle than lose muscle. So after you hit back day, make sure to hit the track here. I'm going to talk about the exact distances that will be the most beneficial a little bit later. Now, if you're running anything like a 100-miler, you're gonna have a little bit of a difficult time gaining muscle. Sorry, but that's just a fact. So before I dive any deeper into this, let's look at how you build muscle. So two of the main things that you need are calories and rest. So you need a calorie surplus. So you need to make sure that you're actually eating more than what you're burning. And then you also need to make sure that you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So something that I use is this app here. So MyFitnessPal is a very good app, helps you get an estimate of the amount of calories that you're consuming that day. So when you're running, you burn about 110 calories per every mile. So if you calculate that into your calorie intake, a 10 miler will consume, or you will burn 1,100 calories. Now, that's a lot of food, that's a lot of calories. So you gotta make sure that you're getting more than your daily regimen or your daily routine, plus this 1,100 calories that you just burned. Now, you don't necessarily need to run this distance if you're not training for a long distance event. I suggest maybe 2 to 5 miles after your workout. In the next video, I'm going to go over diet and all of this good stuff a little bit more in detail. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that so you don't miss the next video when I talk about all this good stuff. But if you are absolutely trying to maximize your muscle performance or your muscle gain, you want to do more sprints than these long distance workouts. So will this help your cardiovascular system? A little bit, yeah, but it won't be as beneficial as if you were doing 2 to 5 miles. So it honestly all depends on your goal and what you're looking for. So in my last video, I went over how I am a hybrid athlete, I run marathons, and I lift. So I kind of went over my training program and how my looks and my athletic performance have been so much better than if I was just lifting. So I will leave the link to that video in the description below. Running and lifting has probably given me the best physique that I've ever achieved. I've also been benching the most I've ever had in my entire life, and I just ran a freaking marathon. So what I did was I lifted heavy, probably 4, sometimes 5 times a week, and this is because I was running so much. I need my muscles to have a reason to stay. Now let's jump into the nerdy stuff. So building muscle occurs when you build more muscle than you break down. So if you're running these long distances, you're really going to break down these muscles. It's kind of like a brick wall. So if you think of each protein as a brick, you want to basically lay more bricks than you take away each time. So this is why protein intake is so important when doing these kinds of activities. Once again, this goes back to the app of MyFitnessPal, where it breaks down how much protein, carbs, fats, all that other good stuff that you are actually consuming for that day. So once you actually hit a certain point in your running, it does start to become a little fishy and you won't have a maximum muscle gain. And that's just because That's the beauty of the beast. So as I said earlier in the video, 2 to 5 miles is a fantastic distance. So no more than 20 miles per week if you were looking to maximize your muscle gain. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I'm a hybrid athlete and I also do marathons. So when I was training, I did 30 miles a week. So this is a little bit more than what I just told you, and it did have a little bit of a detrimental effect on my muscle gain. I did not maximize my muscle gain, but that's okay. I was training for a marathon. That was a goal that I set for myself, and I'm currently training for another marathon, so my muscle gain won't be the greatest, but that's okay. However, I still will gain muscle as long as I keep my diet on point. I get more calories in than what I'm burning. And I also need to make sure that I'm getting enough protein, because as I said, we are just stacking these bricks on top of each other and then taking them away. And each and every time, I just want to stack it a little bit higher every single time. So overall, to wrap this video up, you can still do long distance running and be muscular. I mean, there are plenty of athletes that do it. Myself, Nick Bear, and this guy Nathan French. So Nathan French here, he is an absolute animal, but I think that he has a better diet than me and also a better workout regimen. If you are looking to do more of the short distance running, such as the 2 to 5 miles, check out this guy here. So once he's done working out, he typically runs anywhere from 2 to 5 miles just to burn that extra fat off. And I mean, this guy looks amazing, but he has also announced that he is on TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. The supplement that I take that is the most beneficial for me and still natural would be creatine. I suggest every single athlete take creatine. Every runner, soccer player, football player, everybody take creatine. I mean, creatine essentially gives your body more energy, more ATP, so therefore you can do a little bit more. I'm gonna make another video talking about creatine a little bit more, and I'm gonna go over all the nerdy stuff and all the little details as to why it is so beneficial for you and every other athlete. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave in the comments. I want to make a video on it to help you guys out. Make sure that you guys are performing at your max and that you are just being the best athlete that you can possibly be.